Why, hello everybody, and welcome to our next Age of Strife audition, this time with Bradley. So, for those of you that don't know what Age of Strife is, it's an upcoming D&D campaign taking place in a strife-filled age. That'll be premiering on September 11th. But, before we get on to any more of that, let's talk about Bradley for a moment. Who are you? What do you want to tell us about yourself?
My name is Bradley. I have been playing Dungeons and Dragons practically my entire life. Some of my earliest childhood memories are at the tabletop. I am a pharmacy technician. So yeah, I sell drugs. I do it legally though. I'm also an ordained minister, so it's kind of, it makes for an interesting conversation. Like, I'm an ordained minister. I play Dungeons and Dragons, and
the two haven't always gone very well together, but you seem to be doing it just fine.
Yes. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to know about me. Not much.
Cool. Well then, let's hop into character creation. You've seen some other auditions. You know how this goes.
Yep.
Pick any stat rolling method you desire and make a character.
Just going to do 3d6 straight down the line.
Okay.
6, 7, 14. There we go. I think we're looking at a cleric.
What was that 12, 12, 6, 7, 14, 13, 12?
14, 13, 12. And as far as clerics go, I think there's two different routes I would like to go with the cleric.
Mm-hmm.
One, after I think it was the first audition, but there was like a cleric of, what's his name? Jexel, cleric of Jexel, and that cleric was awesome, Neil. Like, seriously, that was like one of the greatest NPCs I've seen. It really inspired me. But I also kind of want to take the darker route and go with the cleric of Verasi. So,
fun.
See, let's plug these stats into the auto statter. I think I got it pulled up. There we are. So, priest. Let's see. 17. No, what the crap? 12. 12. Constitution. 6. Intelligence. 7. Wisdom 14, 13 and 12, 13 and 12, and let's generate this. So playing a cleric, something that really jumps out to me about this cleric, one, his lowest stat is Constitution, but even more than that is the intelligence of 7. So he's obviously not the most smart guy, so but he has the wisdom to kind of compensate that, the willpower to compensate that. So I think to really role play this guy, there would have to be to show the differences between the intelligence and the wisdom, while on top of playing the low intelligence, he has the wisdom. So I think the intelligence is something that I would really need to play up with this. But with the wisdom of 14, while he may not be the most intelligent, I can kind of play up morals, but morals and veracity, that's tell me, Neil, what can you tell me about veracity? Like,
Veracity, the goddess of death?
Yes.
She's somewhere between the Grim Reaper and Shiva. Kind of a force of nature that you should embrace in some areas, but is still kind of the destroyer of worlds, who's got the aspect of her that the world can't turn without, and the aspect of her that, wants things to die. So you need a little bit of her in your life, but you don't want too much of her. She loves killing, loves things to die, especially likes taking the life of young people, but has the most success with the old.
And is it Martha who is the giver of life?
Yes, Martha is the goddess of life and creation. Although the souls of the individuals come from a third god, Falumbra, who's represented by the moon. So she kind of has a hand in creating life as well, in a weird sort of way. She doesn't actually create it, but she gives up a part of herself to make it. It's a complicated mythos.
I kind of like thinking about the pantheon before making the character, and I knew if I was going to be playing a cleric, I'd want to go the route of Verasi. Kind of thinking about the morals of a cleric of Verasi. I think evil characters, I don't think they really live their life with this notion of I am evil. I think they have a sort of justification in their mind. And I think maybe a cleric of Verasi, they would kind of see it as maybe Martha, the giver of life, abandoned people. Like, she gave life, but then she abandoned them in this existence, in this world. But ultimately, Verasi will take everybody. So maybe the cleric of Verasi kind of sees in a sick, twisted way that there is good in Verasi, and maybe in their own mind justify their actions in their course. I don't know.
It. Good.
So something when I make characters, something that's very important to me is a name. I think I have maybe an interesting way to come up with names too. When I come up with names, I use Google Translate. I think of things that's important to the characters that I'm creating, and I'll get a few different notions of what would be important to the character, and I run a few of those notions through Google Translate into multiple different languages and kind of just spin from there.
All right.
So
what are you going to start translating?
Well, I think from the get-go, something that would be kind of define this character, kind of define a cleric of Verasi. In their head, they're not right. That's kind of how I see it. And I plan to play the character in their head, they're not right. So I will run Twisted through some different languages. In a language on Google Translate that I like running things through is Icelandic.
Ooh, yeah, that sounds like fun.
Twisted in Icelandic, I don't know exactly how to pronounce this, man, but it's Brenglaur. Brengalore? I'll just go with that. Brengalore.
Hey.
And since he is not a noble, he has no last name. So Brengalore it is. Race, I'm just going to go human. Class, cleric, deity, Verasi. So obviously this character would be evil. However, when I make my characters, I know some people have different opinions on this, but when I make my characters, I typically leave my alignment blank. I feel like when you're creating a character, you have this notion of what the alignment of the character is going to be, but a lot of times when you begin playing the character, you kind of break from that path. So I typically, when I make my characters, I start by leaving the alignment blank. I kind of just see how things go. Hair, I'm going to just go bald. Maybe a tattoo of a black dragon on his head. Let's go brown eyes. Male appearance. Appearance, I kind of see him having a kind of a clean appearance to him. Height, let's just go 5'11", weight 160, age, so he's got high will, high wisdom, so he's not too young. At the same time, he's also not too smart, but that doesn't really affect age. You know what I mean, there's some pretty dumb older people out there, and likewise there's some pretty dumb younger people out there, so I don't know. I'm just gonna go middle. Let's just go 30. So he's seen a day or two.
Huh?
Okay, I'm going to do the when I make characters, the one thing I hate more than anything is rolling for HP. Let's just go ahead and get it out of the way.
Let's see that.
8 Constitution, HP adjust -1. Wonderful. 0. Oh,
Nice.
yes.
All right. Well, 1 HP it is.
Yes. It's my luck.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do proficiencies. Two weapon and 4 non-weapon. So, Verossi, I'm assuming a scythe.
That'll work. That's an acceptable weapon. I think
I'm not a
Rossi
real
has a
big
pretty...
fan of the scythe, though.
Yeah, it's an awkward weapon. It's not really meant to be a weapon. As an avatar of death, I think any sort of designated killing weapon would work. So, you know, long swords, spears, bows. I think for her particularly, you maybe have to have a weapon that does shed blood.
Okay.
You know, if you're going to kill someone in the name of Rossi, you need to make it look like that person was killed. None of this, you know, beating around the bush, not shedding blood bullshit. You gotta,
Yeah.
you know, get in there and get him good.
I know it's not like a power game or what and go this route, but I think I'm just going to go with dagger for like the main weapon.
Okay.
I kind of like the ideal of the blow being a dagger up close. So let's go dagger with one of the weapon proficiencies. The other weapon proficiency, let's go darts. Or yeah, we'll go darts. No, I don't want darts. The other weapon proficiency, I think I'm going to take armor. I'm not sure what. On armor proficiency, do I have to like specify the particular type of armor,
Yes,
or is
you
it
do.
just armor in general? Okay, so I'll wait until we get to gear and actually see what armor I take before we really fill that part in. But I think I am going to go armor because that will reduce its weight by half. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Increase and 4 non-weapon proficiencies. Reading and writing. Let's see. So that's 1 slot. I'm going to go astrology. That's 2 slots. And that leaves me 1 more slot. Hmm. I think I'm gonna go musical instrument. And for my musical instrument, I think it would be cool to have like a bone flute, like made from like the bones of like one of my victims or something.
All right.
And that was, I think, one slot. Yes, one slot. Okay, check. -1. Astrology until 0. You know, something that makes absolutely no sense to me, musical instrument being it's based off of dexterity.
Yeah, I think that's a poor way of doing things. I think some musical instruments. Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense for things like guitars and flutes, but I think there's a certain aspect that other instruments might need non-dex.
Yeah.
Like a harmonica wouldn't be very dex-based. There are others that wouldn't be very dex-based that I can't think of right now.
So proficiencies, we're looking at on the weapons, dagger and armor. Armor yet to be determined. Non-weapon proficiencies, musical instrument, astrology, and reading and writing. I think no matter what character I would be playing, I would be taking reading and writing as a non-weapon proficiency. That as a like actual player, that there's something that's important to me. The reason I say that, I enjoy writing. I know I mentioned this to you in my application, but I enjoy writing, and as a way, kind of like taking notes of like sessions and stuff. I like writing like journal entries of like the character's like day as he progressed. So I plan to, whatever happens through the course of this little adventure that this cleric of Verossi will be having, in the aftermath of everything, I plan to write a journal entry about it. Might like post that and make that available. And in that, like, I also think that's a cool way to kind of dive into the character's backstory a bit more and kind of see things from the character's perspective. I think a perfect example, if anyone has, if anyone reads Forgotten Realm novels, R.A. Salvatore and the Dritz novels, between chapters, he'll like take time to kind of like write, I guess, like journal entries from Dritz, and you get like an insight to like his thoughts and his feelings. And I think it's a cool way to kind of see characters on a deeper level. So let's do gear. Priest 3d6 times 10. $3d6, so 120 gold. That's nice.
Good amount. You can get pretty much any armor you want with that if your weapons are dagger.
Looking at all the bonuses that the different armors give, there's a lot of information that I don't know that I should know. I spend most of my time DMing over playing. And the players that I play with, they are all amazing players. I really have a great group of guys, and they're all very knowledgeable. And it really lets me be lazy. There's a lot of I don't know that I should.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Chainmail, I believe, is be a +5
Mm-hmm.
to armor. So I'm gonna go chainmail. That's 75 gold. Chainmail 75. Let's see. A dagger weighs 1 pound. I'm gonna take like 3 daggers.
Okay. 2 gold each.
So 6 gold. Times 3, 2 hits. Dagger weighs 1 pound, so we're looking at 3 pounds. And what was the chainmail? 40 pounds. Chainmail 40 pounds. So armor 5, base 10, total 15. Okay. So let's think a bit more about the backstory before I look at the rest of the general gear. Chain. So, backstory. How about I start in Misty Rapids and my goal just be to kill Mother Alma? That sound good to you, Neil?
Sure, if that's what you want your goal to be. Why is it that you want to kill Mother Ullman?
Wait, for real? You'll let me do that?
I mean, it won't be canon in the storyline, but yeah, go for it.
Okay, I'll do it. So, let's see. Why do I want to kill her? I think the easiest route with this, I've been tracking her because she travels around to different towns, correct?
No, she pretty much stays in Misty Rapids. I guess sometimes she travels to other villages, but it's pretty much just Misty Rapids for her.
Well, at some point in time, I think the path of Verossi has kind of been in my family. And my father wasn't a good man to her standards, and he needed to be cleansed. And unfortunately, he wasn't a wizard. He was a cleric. And the gifts that a certain somebody has to breathe underwater, my father did not possess. So he didn't survive his cleansing. Mm-hmm. My father was cleansed in the river. And I seek revenge.
Okay.
So let's make a few notes real quick. Father cleansed and drowned. I think this probably happened years ago. I imagine that I was a mere child when this happened. And I imagine my character was there as it happened and he witnessed it. And it truly haunts his mind. But from a very early age, he showed signs of clerical wisdom and clerical gifts. And after everything that happened, she shipped me off. She shipped me off to a bigger town, I guess, a bigger city. Mm-hmm. And there in this bigger city, maybe the capital, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It's not too important. But in this bigger city, I was taught the way of the gods. And maybe I was even taught under a cleric of Martha. And maybe this cleric of Martha, she thought she was showing me the way of life and the way of Martha, but the entire time there was the darker pulling inside me. And maybe as I was growing up, once I was shipped to this temple as I was growing up, I embraced Martha for a time, and there was still this pulling to something darker. And as I grew older, I began studying the stars, studying the sky. And through the study of stars and study of the skies, I was drawn to Verasi, drawn back to Verasi. And I fully embraced the path of Verasi. And maybe at first this is something that I kept under wraps, maybe something I hid, something I was ashamed of, something I didn't know how to handle. And while all this is going on, the cleric of Martha that was kind of schooling me and training me knew something wasn't right. And I'm not sure what happened to this cleric of Martha. Part of me thinks maybe I killed her, but why would I want to kill her though? I think maybe I think that would be a huge moral dilemma. Like I would have this like unction from Verasi, but at the same time, this cleric of Martha's pretty much became like a mother figure to me. Maybe I was afraid of what I would do. Maybe I was afraid of what would happen, and I left before I did anything. And as I left, I headed back towards Misty Rapids, the entire time studying the stars, the entire time trying to wrestle with Martha and Verasi and really choose the path. And maybe I actually haven't killed anybody yet in the name of Verasi. I mean, I'm only a level one character, so I don't have much experience under my belt. Maybe my story as I come into Misty Rapids, maybe my story is, am I really going to embrace Verasi? And to really embrace Verasi, I have to kill the woman who killed my father because he worshipped Verasi.
So then the flute you have is not from someone that you've slain, but...
Yes, not from my victim, but maybe my father's victim.
Was your father a killer?
I imagine he was a pretty sick and twisted individual. I think there was a good reason he was drowned and cleansed. Huh? Maybe he actually even killed somebody close to Mother Olma.
Hold on one sec, we'll be right back.
Okay. Okay, so if I traveled from the capital back to Misty Rapids, I would need traveling gear. So let's look at gear. Winter blanket, 5 SP, 3 pounds. Wine skin, 8 SP, 1 pound. Couple of torches, 3 torches. Looks like that would be 3 CP. 3 pounds. Flint and steel. 5 SP. Looks like it's about 1/10 of a pound. Couple candles, 3 candles. 5 CP. Those looks like gonna be about 3/10 of a pound. Backpack. Do I pay for a backpack, Neil?
No. You start with clothes and a backpack.
Okay. Rations. 3 days of rations. You homebrew the prices of rations, don't you? Or didn't you change something about ration?
You can use the updated rationing system. Let me take a look. I'll link it to you in the Zoom chat if you don't have the window open already. There it is.
Okay. Looks like a tent, 5 GP, 10 pounds. Firewood. Nice. So a dry ration, it says 0.6 GP. Is that SP?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go 3 dry rations. So that would be 6, 12, 18. So 1 GP, 8 SP. 2, 4, 6, so 6 pounds. I believe that covers all of my traveling gear. So 5 CP, 10, 18, 19, 20, 21, so 10, 18 SP, 8 CP. 6 SP. 3 GP, 6 SP, 8 CP. Okay, so on all the traveling gear, spent 3 GP, 6 SP, 8 CP. Let's see. What else could I get? $50 feet of rope. Feet of rope. That is. Let's go silk. I believe I got the money for it.
All right.
Rope 50. So weight, that is 8 pounds. What is my encumbrance? Base 45 light. Okay, I had 120, so 75, 6, 81, so 384, and the silk rope added 10 GP, so that takes me up to 94 GP spent. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I want to get a donkey to hold some of the gear. I want to make that journey holding all this gear by myself. I have low constitution after all. Donkey, so that's 94, 95, 67, 89, 102. 102 GP. Okay, so I had mentioned that the aspect about like writing and journals. How much would a journal cost?
Fairly expensive, since paper is 2 gold a page, parchment is 1 gold a page, papyrus is not 8 silver a page. But if you think of a page as actually like a nice big sheet, you could get a journal that's a quarter sized. So if you make it all on parchment, 100 pages would actually, instead of costing you 100 gold, would cost you 25 gold. plus binding and covers. Let's make it 28 gold. 30 gold for a 100-page book journal.
30 gold. Okay, so I'm going to have to get rid of some stuff. Red. Silk rope. Take off the silk rope. That will bring me down to 84. 84 plus 84 plus 34. 100. So 114. Okay. So journal. And let's see. Okay. I believe I'm good on gear. Winter blanket, a wine skin, 3 torches, flint and steel, 3 candles, 3 dry rations, a tent, and a journal. And also the donkey. So what else do we have to do? I believe we are good.
So why don't you run through your character again? Give me your backstory, your weapon, and your non-weapon proficiencies, and whatever spells it is that you carry on yourself when you travel around.
So I believe normally I would get 1 spell, correct? And then bonus spells. Is that right?
Yeah. What was your wisdom again? 14?
My 14, so it looks like I get
3 spells total.
3 spells, yep. Let's see. I really have no purpose at all for Cure Light Wounds, 1 HP. I mean, I am a cleric of veracity, so I mean, if you're sick and you need healing, tough crap. Take it up with Martha.
Yeah.
I think personal reading is a good one. Personal reading. Command. I imagine I would be starting in Misty Rapids and not on the road, or would you rather me be on the road?
It doesn't matter. We'll just see where it goes.
Okay. Okay. The 3 spells I'm going to take are personal reading, command, and thought capture. I prefer things that give me utility over like damage in combat and stuff along those lines. So I think those are 3 pretty good utility spells: personal reading, command, and thought capture. Okay, so kind of overview of everything. My character's name is Brengalore. Brengalore was born into a family that has a long history of allegiance and faith to veracity. Many in my family have been clerics that have walked the dark path of veracity. And as a young child, my father kept me close and was teaching me the ways of veracity. My father was in Misty Rapids He was a man whose ways were dark, a man who killed many. Mother Alma, though, she didn't sit too well with her, and my father was cleansed and drowned in the river as I watched. Confused with all of this, the character was broken. Mother Alma ended up sending me off to the capital, and in the capital, everything I knew was turned upside down as a cleric of Martha pretty much became the mother figure of my life. And for a short time, I had embraced Martha. But as I grew older, I began studying the stars. There was always this darker pulling inside me, and I began studying the stars. And one day, looking up at the winter sky as Verossi shined bright, I had a vision of Verossi, and she came to me, and she beckoned me. And as she beckoned me, there was this pulling to slay the cleric of Martha that had kind of taken me in, and this really turned my morality upside down. I really fought with it. I couldn't just slay her. I couldn't just stab her. There's this pulling in me, and afraid of what I would do, I ended up leaving and going back to the place really where this conflict began, back in Misty Rapids, back to where I seen my father killed, and then I was shipped off to the cleric of Martha. And I don't really know what my character is going to do once I get to Misty Rapids. Do I directly confront Mother Alma? Do I go to her while she's sleeping? I don't know. I think this encounter will really be the defining moment of this character's life. He really struggles with morality and the gods and what path is right. Proficiencies, I am proficient with a dagger. I am proficient in chainmail armor. Non-weapon proficiencies, I'm a reader and a writer. I study the stars. I pay attention to the stars. And I am also gifted in playing the bone flute, one of the only heirlooms I have of my father's. And it's not really one that I show off to people, as it brings up questions that I don't really want to really answer to anybody.
When you were studying the stars and Verossi was calling to you, which cleric of Martha was she saying to kill? The one that had raised you in the capital, or the one in Misty Rapids?
I would say the one that had raised me in the capital, and I really ran from that, not knowing how to handle it. And as I was on the path from the capital back to Misty Rapids, I imagine Verossi seen the issues that I was fighting with, and she seen that she knew that my plan was to kind of deal with the issue of Mother Alma, and in that I would really find the answers of what I was looking for. And once I find that answer, if it is the will of Verossi, then I will go back and handle the cleric in the capital. So right now I'm really looking for the answers.
Okay. Seems to be a deviation from your normal life a little bit.
Yes.
Right. I think that is all for the setup. So why don't we start you? Did you want to start on the road coming into town?
Sure. So on the road with my trusty donkey beside me.
What is your donkey's name?
His name is Bones.
Perfect. All right. So you are heading on in towards Misty Rapids down the long road from Cauldron. You see a palisade wall surrounding the temple that is Mother Ulman's, which was not there the last time you were here. Probably 20 years ago? When did you move to the capital?
Yeah, probably about 20 years ago. That would have put me at the age of 10, as I am 30 now.
So there's a new palisade wall surrounding her temple with a little watchtower built up beside it. This is new to you. You haven't been here in a long time. And as you continue down the road towards town, you see a small group of clerics of Nadinus who are gathered on the road, almost like expecting you, kind of looking at your direction. And you notice they are holding all sorts of buckets and cleaning implements in their hands.
I walk towards them. As I walk towards them, I kind of have my head down to the ground, not really directly engaging them. And as I get closer, very eerily and creepily, I lift my head up slowly, and I kind of look to and fro from them. And then I speak up. Greetings. I come from the capital. It has been a long journey. Is there a place where I can rest nearby?
There are inns in town where you may stay, but first you must pass through our trials. Those that come from the west, through the heathenistic lands of Cauldron, must be cleansed of their sins before they are allowed to enter our
I assure
town.
you there are no sins in my life. I am a cleric myself. I have been raised and taught the ways of Martha from the mother in the capital. I need not cleansing. I just need rest, my brothers and my sisters.
That is not for you to decide. Those that pass through Cauldron are inherently tainted. Do not worry, it will be a quick and painless endeavor to wash you of your sins.
No. I assure you, I cast protection from evil as I pass through Cauldron. I'm very aware of their ways and their sin and their filth. I assure you, I am untainted. Protection from evil. I was protected. I was taught
why
well
don't
by
you
the
give me
mother.
a charisma check? Interesting play.
Okay, so D20 plus my charisma, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Roll 1D20 plus 13. Oh, crap.
Not quite. They shake their heads, and one of the larger women nearby puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "Father,
I kind of jerk
there
my
is
shoulder
no
back.
way
I
to
jerk my
protect-
shoulder back, and I just put my hands up.
There is no way to protect yourself from the tainting the men in the West." And gives a nod to one of the other people with a bucket who just splashes you with a big bucket of water. One of the other clerics comes up with a kind of like a big scrub brush on the end of a stick, like a push broom, except a little bit smaller, and just starts scrubbing you on your back with all of your clothes and all of your gear, and just starts moving around you. Another comes up from the other side, and pretty soon you've got two people on either side of you just scrubbing you with these big bristly brushes, while other people take their turns splashing water on you.
I imagine my head is down to the ground, and I'm biting my tongue, and my face is just going bloodshot. Really, just rage is kind of building up in me, but the wisdom that I have is restraining me from lashing out as they are doing this to me. My mind is just going back to the scene that is burned in my mind from the age of 10, as Mother Alna cleansed my father.
Right. It takes a few moments, and then it's gone. You're soaked all the way through, and your face is maybe red from where the brushes scrubbed you up and down. But the same cleric who had her hand on you, person who had put her hand on you earlier, stands before you and says, "Now you are cleansed and clean. Please find your way into town. There are many inns along the road."
With a bloodshot face, I look up at her, and I kind of lift my chin up high, almost kind of snarling down on her. I say, "Thank you, sister. Tell me, what was your name?"
Regina.
"Gina, I am Father Brengalore." And I extend my hand to shake her hand.
She shakes yours and gives you a polite
grip her
nod.
hand very tight. I actually want to make a strength check, Neil. I don't want to and in doing this, I want to squeeze it. I want to hurt it. I want it to be uncomfortable, but I don't want it to be obvious that I'm trying to hurt her, you know?
All right. Not obvious to anyone else around her, just her, right?
Yeah, that
All right.
sounds good.
Give me a strength check.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. She winces in the pain.
Are you okay,
buckle.
sister? Are you okay?
She withdraws her hand and kind of waves it off to the side.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Martha be with you, sister. Martha be with you. I walk past.
You can hear her muttering to the other people, and if you take a glance over your shoulder, you see them looking at her hand.
I just walk on by. As I walk through town, is there anything going on? Does anything strike me?
No, nothing seems to be going on. Nothing unusual. People are going about their day as ordinarily as you would expect them to in such a small town.
So what do I come to? What do I come to first as I pass through the town? Do I come to the second temple because I know there's 2 temples in Misty Rapids? Correct?
Yeah.
Or do I come to a tavern?
No, you hit the temple before you hit the tavern.
Okay. So I will walk into the temple. Kind of walk in slow.
The temple's up on a big hill, so it's going to be a deviation from your path and up a large stairwell.
I kind of look to the different routes and I hesitate, shrug, and I begin walking up to the temple.
Okay. You make your way up to the temple. It is large. It is the largest temple in town. It always has been. You can see there's some new construction going on and many workmen kind of moving in and around the area.
So yeah, I walk on up. I walk into the temple. As I enter into the courts of the temple, is there a large crowd actually inside the temple right now?
Yeah, but most of them are workmen right now. It seems like there's a lot of construction going on here, and there's an abnormal number of craftsmen and stonemasons. There's a bunch of scaffolding put up on the inside and on the outside. It appears there are repairs being done, or maybe they're adding things. It's been a long time. Your memory of this place is not very strong.
Do I see anyone praying at any of the different shrines?
Yes, you do.
Anybody at the Shrine of Verasi?
No. It appears that the Shrine of Verasi is where the workmen have stored all of their gear. So there's just like a bunch of rocks piled up there. There's like a tarp draped over her, ostensibly so nothing falls on it and damages it, or no paint falls on it. But they're at the same time, they're still covering up the statue of Verasi and just kind of,
is there anyone over? Is there any of the workmen over by this storage area?
Yeah, there's some people moving some boards over there.
I walk over in that direction. I make eye contact with the men that are over there, and as I make eye contact with them, I walk over to like the covering that they have over Verasi, and I take the covering and I just rip it off. I pull it off, and I throw it to the ground, and then I look to them in a firm voice. I speak up to them. You foolish men, you foolish men. Do you not know who this is that you disrespect? I know she's not loved by many, but she finds everybody. You disrespect her, she'll find you sooner than later.
Give me another charisma check.
Oh, 1d20 plus 13. Ah!
So close. They stand back a little bit, clearly unnerved by your words, and just nod their head and find some excuse to just move on to a different section and work in a different area.
It's for your own good, I say as they walk off. Do I see any other clerics or priests inside the temple right now?
Yes. You notice there are 2 priests, I should say, up by the front. One of a priest and a priestess.
I walk over to the priestess. As I walk over to her, before I even get to her, before I even get to her, kind of off, I begin speaking to her. I begin addressing her, and kind of with a loud voice so other people hear.
Okay.
Excuse me. I come from the temples in the temple in the capital. I have been taught the ways of the gods by the mother of Martha there. And I must ask, is it common practice for you guys to disrespect other gods here in Misty Rapids? I know, and I look over to the statue of Verasi. I know Verasi is not love, but she is the god of death. Do you not fear her? You turned her shrine into this storage?
I am so sorry.
Not afraid that you will anger her?
I am so sorry, Father.
We doesn't fly in the capital. I don't know where you come from, but this doesn't fly in the capital.
We meant no disrespect. There was much construction to be going on, and no other place to lay the planks. It was not a matter of disrespecting any of the gods, just a matter of convenience. I'm sure Verasi will not seek to punish us for these minor sins.
Have I heard the tales of the wraiths?
There's definitely been some weird stories about undead creatures and ghosts moving around this area.
As she kind of tries to defend herself, I look to her and say, I look to her and I say, you have already angered the goddess of death. She has already sent her minions to seek her justice for the disrespect that you have shown her. I say this not to harp on you or to belittle you or make you less. I say this for your own good. I'm trying to help you. We live in a world where there are many gods. You shouldn't go out of your way to disrespect one, especially one like her.
I am so sorry, Father, but I promise you that we meant no disrespect. The whole temple is under construction, you see, and at other times, other alcoves have been used to store various supplies.
Well, I recommend you move any type of storage away from any of the shrines. Move them to an off room. You don't want to disrespect any of the gods, especially.
Perhaps that is a good idea, Father.
Yes.
And the priestess gives you a deep bow and immediately goes over to the workmen and begins talking to them about a new place to store the work supplies.
I kind of, at that point, I kind of walk around to all the different shrines, kind of admire them all, or kind of give the appearance that I'm admiring them all. When I make it to Martha, I look the statue up and down, really confused and tormented. But I feel no love for her. And I'm confused about it. It doesn't make sense. I kind of shrug it off after spending an extended period of time in front of her shrine. Then I look over to the shrine of Verasi. Have they kind of cleared it out a bit now? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I kind of look at the shrine of Verasi and feel a peace come over me, which kind of scares me even more. I then walk up to the same priestess that I spoke to earlier. I approach her slowly this time. And I walk up to her and I look at her. Excuse me, sister. I want to apologize to you for my brashness earlier. I really meant no disrespect, and I ask your forgiveness.
There is nothing to forgive. You are ultimately right. We have been so focused on the here and now that we have forgotten why we do the things that we do, why we build these temples. We should not have been so overeager to solve the problems of the flesh that we overlooked the problems of the spirit. Yes.
I once heard a wise man say, every man has two bags. One bag he keeps in front of him. The other bag he keeps behind him. The bag in front of him he fills with all the trivial things of life. The bag behind him is the bag that holds the important things. However, oftentimes he sees not the bag behind him. He only sees the trivial things in front of him. And I think this may be a case like that. You forgot what was important, but it happens to us all. It's okay, sister. My name is Father Brengalore, and you are?
I am Sister Deborah.
Sister Deborah, it is good to meet you. It has been a while since I have been here in Misty Rapids. What is all of this construction I see going on here in the temple?
there have been various things happening around town, and we have a new benefactor for the church, one that has allowed us to renovate some of the damages done here.
And who is this benefactor?
Why, Baron Song himself.
I have heard tales of Baron Song. He seems like a great man. Maybe someday I can meet him.
He is very busy and keeps to himself, rarely coming into town. If you are only passing through, I doubt you will see him.
Yes, I am only passing through. You are most hospitable. I thank you. I fear, though, I have maybe offended others as well. I was afraid that I had offended you, but I think I may have offended others as well. And as I seek to make amends with you, I now go to seek to make amends with the others. Mm-hmm. I oftentimes don't use my head and I don't think. I'm not the most righteous. But the gods, they bless all. So.
She smiles and nods.
I then turn around and I exit the temple.
Okay.
I take a deep breath. And I head back to the first temple that I encountered, where I was cleansed.
Okay. There is a big palisade wall. There's the little watchtower. There are the same group of people standing about. Now their buckets have been refilled. And down the road, you can see some dust being kicked up, presumably by a rider.
Okay. I kind of take a second to examine this rider as the rider approaches.
Oh, it's like a mile down the road. You can just barely see the dust in the distance. It'll take a while to get here.
Okay. All right. Well, I work my way back up. Do I see the lady whose hand I shook?
You do. She's amongst the group.
I approach the group slowly. A calm look over me. As I approach, I speak up. Sister, I come to make amends. I come to apologize. I feel I was rude and brash and quick-tempered in our encounter earlier as I made my way into the city, and I wish to apologize.
Apology accepted, young man.
I oftentimes act without thinking. It is one of my flaws. But I am a cleric, trained by the mother of Martha in the capital. And I'm still young in the ways of a cleric. I have much to learn. And with the disrespect I showed you, all of you, and I look to the rest of everyone there.
Well, perhaps in order to learn more respect, you should spend more time with the one who brings life to the whole world, who enriches us and gives us the tools we need to survive. I speak of none other than Nadinus, the goddess who burst the world around us, with which we would not live. She is the most respectful of all the gods, and to spend time with her is to spend time with the world.
I think you are right. I once heard a wise man say, there's a beautiful woman and her name is Wisdom, and she cries from everywhere. I believe there is wisdom in what you say, and I believe there is wisdom in Nadinus, wisdom that I have not learned yet. And to make amends and to learn this wisdom, I would like to pledge myself to this temple for an extended period of time, kind of learn the ways, and it's a place of rest. If there's anything I can do around the temple and help out, I would love to.
I think you should speak to Mother Ullman. She is the one who would deal with such things.
That name sounds familiar. Who is this Mother Ullman?
Cleric of great and terrible power here. She guides the whole of the town, or at least those that have not turned to the dark side.
I don't know why anybody would embrace the dark side.
is...
So much light in the world. Why would you want to embrace the dark side?
Some people are afraid, and fear powers their beliefs.
Yes. So where is this mother you speak of?
Please follow me. And she leads you inside the palisade walls, beyond those that are standing outside ready to cleanse people, and brings you into the actual temple itself, not just the temple grounds. This building is made entirely of wood, all the way through and through. It is very simple and basic. There's a tree growing in the center of the big room that would be the main worship room. Around the tree are hung all sorts of silk scarves in a large circle. There are paper lanterns hanging from various corners. And it looks like someone has begun a project to knit like a cozy around the branches, but not the trunk of the tree.
I kind of look around and I look to the lady who brought me in, kind of waiting for Mother Alna.
She has you wait and takes off for about 5 minutes. Eventually, she brings back this very old woman who's dressed in kind of green robes with a gray wool cloak behind her, fastened with a leaf brooch.
Okay. As she walked off and before they came back, I might want to cast a spell. Let me look at some variations on these spells real quick. Capture, casting time, duration, instantaneous. That's no good. Personal rating. Duration special. Okay. So on personal reading, let me see real quick. This spell allows the priest to mathematically analyze personal information about one who spell can be kind of... Okay, never mind. Okay, so I kind of wait for them to return, and I see them return, and the older lady, Mother Alna. How exactly do you pronounce her name? I know I didn't listen. Ullman?
Mm-hmm.
Ullman. Okay. Mm-hmm. Ullman. All right, I got it. Okay, so I see Mother Ullman making her way in, the old frail lady. As she makes her way in, I examine her closely. And as I examine her closely, can I tell if she recognizes me at all? I imagine I'll probably be safe, as I was only a 10-year-old boy.
How would you give me a charisma check? Give me a charisma check.
I imagine I am watching her eyes very closely and her facial reaction.
Yeah, I think a charisma check at -5 to determine whether or not she recognizes you.
13, so that would be 3, 8 plus 8. 1d20 plus 8. Okay.
You no idea.
Okay, so she makes her way up.
She makes her way up, kneels down beside you. I guess you're probably standing. Stands beside you and says, I have been told that you are here to pledge yourself to Nadinus and learn of our ways, to switch from one mother to another.
Yes, I have been taught the ways of Martha in the capital.
With a hand, she dismisses the other woman with you.
I take a deep sigh and I look to the ground. I wait for the lady to exit and I look back up to her. I seek to learn more ways. Assuming that with the dismissal of the other lady, she knows who I am. I could be wrong, but that is my assumption right now.
She puts an arm kind of on your back and begins to walk you in a circle around the tree, almost ignoring everything you've said, and starts going on about how without the world around us, we would not have any life. The animals give us food, they give us power to till the fields, the plants bring life to the animals, and they bring life to us, and talking about the cycle of nature, kind of just ignoring anything that you might say or do. It starts just kind of going through the general proselytization of Nadinus's ways.
Okay. I let her go on her spiel. I don't interrupt her. I let her go on her spiel.
Okay. It takes about 20 minutes, and then she's done with it.
Okay. I kind of eye her up and down, waiting for her to say something. I imagine it might be an awkward moment.
Yeah, definitely an awkward moment. Eventually, she stops and turns to you and says, well, now, for how long would you like to commit yourself to us?
I honestly do not know how long I would like to commit myself. I seek answers. I seek understanding. Much of the world makes little sense to me. Much of the gods, they make little sense to me. They have gifted me and they have blessed me, and I don't know why, but they have. So I merely seek their will. Their will, it can be hard, it can be painful, it doesn't make sense many times. But I seek their will, and I have to
a period of
their will.
5 years, then?
If that is what it takes, 5 years it is.
She nods.
And I kind of have a bloodlust in my eye as I stare at her.
She turns and starts walking you towards one of the doors on the outside of the room.
I clench the dagger in my hand tightly, but I refrain.
She opens the door and motions towards you. It looks like a large bunk room where priests or clerics would live.
As I walk into the bunk room, I look to her, and this is a nice setup you have here. I did not. I honestly expected less. It's very pleasant. Tell me, do you sleep in here as well? Where do you sleep, Mother Almond?
We all share the same quarters.
We all do.
We all share this world equally together. It would be wrong for us to separate based on rank. That is a human construct, and one that
I like that.
Embrace.
We are all human. We are all human, Mother Almond. We are all human. We all breathe. We all come into this world the same way, and we all exit this world at the same way. We all exit this world at the hands of Verasi. We are all equal.
She frowns and says, yes, that is the case.
I have a very bright grin over my face as I speak of Verasi.
She does take us from this world to the next. But it is not always Verasi herself that brings us to our knees. Sometimes there are more mortal dangers we face. There are many evils in this world.
Yes, like revenge and bloodlust and other things like that Verasi would be very happy with.
Yes.
Yeah.
She says, seemingly a little uncomfortable.
And I kind of realize this, and I pull back and I refrain. I kind of realize I'm getting a little too bold, and I need to play this undercover, no rush, no hurry, and be slow about this. And I need to earn her favor and her trust. Is there anything I can do for you, Mother Almond? I am your humble
The first
servant.
task to divinity is patience and cleanliness. I can direct
I'm
you
a very
to...
clean man, so I think we're good there.
Well, cleanliness not only of the flesh, but of the soul, and what better way to cleanse your soul than to cleanse the place in which you live? They say cleanliness is close to godliness, and they are true. I will point you to the way of our cleaning supplies, and you may clean the main chamber. Make sure to scrub
I will
with
clean
the grave.
everything for you. Everything.
She hands you, she takes you to a room where there's some basic soap and a bucket, tells you to go down to the river, get some water. Here's a scrub brush, here's the soap. Start by cleaning the floors and the walls in this room.
Okay. I go through with that and I clean everything. I go full-hearted at it. Everything I got, I give to it. It's not an enjoyable task, but I know I'm close to my overall task, which is slaying Mother Almond.
I guess that evening rolls along, and she brings you and the other people in for dinner in a separate room. Another person who works here, I shouldn't say work, volunteers here, makes dinner for everyone. Mother Almond says a prayer. You recognize the food here is all plants, no meat. She leads everyone in prayer about a bountiful harvest and the gifts given to us by the gods. And then everyone sits down to eat. And after that, it looks like everyone's going straight to bed.
I imagine I stay up late, laying in my bed, waiting for everybody else to fall asleep. Really kind of thinking about how I want to proceed with things. I think my encounter with Mother Almond and just being here, like I feel the pull of Verossi even more. I'm really contemplating just taking my dagger and driving it through her right now as she sleeps. Also contemplating maybe that would be a little bit too soon. Maybe I should seek a means to kill her in a not so obvious fashion like poison, but then I think the will of Verossi, and I don't think that's what Verossi would want. Kind of wrestling with what I want to do now. I look around to see if anybody is moving at all.
Anyone's moving?
Yes, anyone's moving or any life at all in the chambers.
You can hear people breathing and the occasional person rolling over. But it doesn't appear that anyone's awake. It's hard to tell.
I want to get up out of my bed and I want to very quietly kind of just walk around, see if anybody reacts or anybody notices me. I want to walk around cautiously and slowly.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. Oh, D20 plus 12. D20 plus 12. 33, nice.
Oh, yeah. You are positive that nobody is awake.
I clench my dagger, and there's a little bit of joy kind of beginning to sprout in me right now. And clench my dagger, and I walk over to her. I walk over to Mother Almond.
You find her bunk. There's a little bit of moonlight shining in through one of the windows, striking her just below her face, kind of illuminating the bed she's in.
I take a deep breath. I pull my dagger. I lift it high. I plunge it. Do I need to make an attack roll? Or
she is unconscious, so you can auto-kill her. But I will give her a chance to cry out or scream or make some sort of noise.
Okay.
Side. She does give a loud gasp, and her hands kind of flail about for a moment. See if it wakes anybody up. Oh, yeah. One of the clerics, one of the people in the bunk right next to her immediately kind of sits up and looks around.
I want to cast command. Wait a minute.
I need you to roll for initiative at this point.
Okay. So It's 1d10, right?
1d10 plus weapon speed or casting time or any of those things.
Can I ask one question before I roll initiative?
Sure.
What is the light like? Am I like obviously standing in light, or am I in the cover of darkness at all?
You are clearly illuminated by this moonbeam that shines through the window and hits her.
Can I tell if the person has seen me?
It would be unlikely that they didn't, but you can't tell for certain.
Okay, roll 1d10. Damn. 1d10. Oh, crap. I go last.
Oh, yeah. The person gets up, starts to look around, clearly looks over at Mother Ullman, sees the bloody dagger still in your hand, gives a shout, crying, "Help!
Actually,
Murder!"
I was thinking about, hang on.
And she rolls out of bed on the other side and grabs a pillow for self-defense. It is your turn.
Yeah, I know what I want to do. This is going to sound crazy, but I have an overall plan. I'm pretty much screwed unless I do something, and I think my best bet to get out of this is not to fight and try and run. I think my best bet is to blame somebody else. So I stab myself. I have 1 HP, so I fall unconscious and I fall on the ground. I stab myself in a non-deadly location, like, I don't know, like shoulder or something.
All right. Well, that has been our audition for today. Good job, Bradley. That was definitely an interesting character and an interesting plot and way to go out.
My thought process on going out is there's only one witness, so it's my word versus their word. So I'm going to say that person killed Mother Ullman and attacked me when I tried to defend her. So it's what I'm going to try. But yeah.
I think that's a there may be many versions of that story that get passed around, or you can all decide your different endings to that, I think.
Sounds awesome.
I like leaving it kind of vague and empty at the end.
Yeah.
It's fun. So, good job on the audition. Do you have any final words before we close out for now?
I am so thankful for this opportunity. I will cherish this memory, and I hope I get the chance to cherish many more memories to come.
All right, this has been our Age of Strife audition for today. I think we have another one tomorrow, but I'm not sure, so I'm double checking right now. No, we have 3 auditions on Saturday and 2 on Sunday, and then we are done with auditions for Age of Strife. And Age of Strife begins on September 11th. So stay tuned, and you'll see 4 of these players in our game. That's it. For those of you watching live, stick around because the live stream starts in about 20 minutes, and we've got Dicing with Death this evening at 6 p.m. So take care, everybody. Bye-bye.